Next, let's go into this chart here, guys. This is your Apple. Crazy to think that I just spent 10 minutes talking about the S&P and the net and all this stuff related to the jobs data, and we haven't even gotten to Apple earnings yesterday that came out. Apple earnings, let's talk about it. We saw this here, guys, dropping precipitously after earnings because of the jobs data. We did see a bounce, but we're starting to see it come down. Now, again, my guess is Apple's going back towards the lows today, all the way back down here. This is the beautiful thing about it. I do want to just take 1 second. I want to show you what I said yesterday in this exact game plan. Yesterday morning, before Apple earnings came out after the close, take a look at this. Well, right now, we're trading here as of yesterday's close. We're up here pre-market. If we actually start getting towards this level, let's say 177 to 178, you actually get into your resistance levels right up here going into earnings. So again, I'm not going to short it going into earnings. That's not how I roll. I don't like taking the little higher risk factor of earnings. But I do think if we hit like 177, 178 today, there's resistance going into earnings. Be interesting to see if it pulls back on earnings today. All right, guys. So you just saw what I said yesterday. I gave you that 177.50-ish area per the charts. Where did we close yesterday? Check this out. This is how cool the charts are. Yesterday's close, 177.57, right smack on it. Again, look at how the charts guide us here. Pivot high, pivot high, pivot high, right to that pivot high, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up days in a row, right into resistance. Think about it logically. Into resistance, a little short-term extended. What's the likely scenario here? We talked about having a pullback. I said that in yesterday's game plan. The potential was for a pullback, and that's exactly what we've seen. In fact, yesterday in the after hours, and even early this morning, that's how much of a pullback back to 170. Basically, we erased more than half of the move up. Now, again, we've bounced back because the rising tide is lifting all boats, meaning the stock market is moving up, so it's helping Apple get off of the lows. Let's see when the market opens. I would not be surprised if we retest 170 today, but that is awesome right there, guys. I just really want to show you how the charts can guide us. They're not perfect, guys, and I do make bad calls. There's no doubt about it, but again, it's all about probability, and probability will guide us to what I call the profit land, meaning that if you play the numbers and the numbers are in your favor, if you do enough trades, eventually the profits just come because of that. All right. I do want to just do one thing, jumping back to the mid-screen here. So I wanted to do something on that call in terms of crushing Apple's trade. So again, that was a trade yesterday in the game plan, one of many that I've done here. And I want to just do this because I just wanted to do it so bad. So we're going to come over here. And again, you guys can tell I like to have a little fun here. So here's our Apple trade, and right there, baby. Right there. Crush it. All right. So we crushed that little call right there. I crushed that little call. I apologize to those who have to clean this up. I tried not to make too much of a mess. Okay. So next up, let's jump back to this screen here and let's get into it. Square. Now, this was another one. I wish I had a square right now to crush, right? I really just got to walk around with this now all the time. And by the way, there's a new show launching in a couple weeks. I don't know the name of it, but it's going to be my head trader and also a major trader named Paul. And they're going to be analyzing all my calls, my good calls and my bad calls. And it's going to be basically calling me out, saying, yes, I did a good trade here, or maybe I did a bad one. But again, I do want to point that out, is that I'm not perfect, so please don't always think I am. I always get... it always makes me fearful when I make a good call or a couple of good calls. People always get, too excited, like, oh, Gareth never loses. No, I do lose, guys. Trust me on that one.